Okay, so welcome to yet another video on this 5-day series of the GCSE Maths. Today we are discussing 12 Jan 2026, and this is the higher version, which is the grade 6 and grade 7 topics. So the first question for today is workout. So we've got all the base are 4 and we've got various powers. So we just need to think for a bit. 4 to the power of 0, that's 1. 4 squared, that's 16. 4 to the power of 1, that's 4. And 4 to the power of a half. So I want you to remember this for me. Anything to the power of a half is your square root. So 4 to the power of a half is square root of 4, and we know that is 2. So 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus 16. My answer would be 23. For the next question, we're doing a circle theorem question. We have to find the unknown side x. Now, if you notice, this is actually a diameter because the line is actually passing through the center. And that means what we have here is a semicircle. And we know the angle in a semicircle would be a 90-degree angle. That means what we've got here is actually a right angle triangle. So if we draw that a bit neatly, that is 8, this would be 10, and we're looking for the smaller side. So a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Think of your English alphabet and go in the order 1, 2, 3. So obviously x is the smallest side here, so this is x squared. B squared is the second biggest side, so that's 8 squared is equal to 10 squared. So I have x squared plus 64 is equal to 100. X squared is equal to 100. Take away 64, and that is 36. But that is x squared. We want to find x, so x is equal to the square root of 36, which is 6. So yeah, simple circle theorem question. Remember, because it is in a semicircle and it is a diameter, so the angle is a right angle triangle. Then we use Pythagoras' theorem. Next one, we have to draw a box plot. So when you're drawing a box plot, we need 5 numbers, if you think about it. So just to recap the topic, you need the lowest value, then you need your lower quartile, then you need your median, then you need your upper quartile, and then finally you need your highest value. So you need these 5 values, and then you connect the 3 in the middle, and then you join the ones at the end, and that's how you get your box plot. So let's try to think, do we have all the numbers? Do I have the lowest value? Yes, I have 7. I have the median, that is 35. Then I've got the upper quartile, which is 41. The next thing that I have is the range, and it says the range is 45. That means my smallest value to the biggest value, that's my range, that distance is 45. So I know that from 7 I need to go up by 45, and that would take me to 52, which is my highest value. So range would mean the difference or the gap between your lowest value and your highest value. And I know the lowest is 7 and the gap is 45, which means the highest value should be 52. Interquartile range is the gap between your lower quartile and your upper quartile. So the gap here is 11. I know the upper quartile is 41, and if the gap is 11, then that means it's 41. Take away 11, that would be 30. So I think I have all the 5 numbers now. I think I can draw a box plot. So I'm going to assume this is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. It's good to mark them if your table doesn't have any values. It's better you mark them so that we have a consensus on where we're drawing this. So the lowest value is at 7. So let's try to keep it somewhere where 7. Yeah, that looks like 7. So that's 7, my lowest value. The next one is at 30, so that's good. Nice value there. 30. Next one is at 35, so that's also nice. 35. Next one is at 41. That's okay. We can do 41. Last one is at 52. So there's, oops. Yeah, oh, I didn't know this had that. Okay, that's 52. Now let's join. Okay, yep. Join. Yep. And then join the parts in the middle. And then join the parts in the middle. And then that would be your box plot. So please make sure you're using a ruler when you're doing this for your test. So remember, sometimes they won't give you the questions or the data directly to you. You need to consider the gap in your data and then kind of get to your work. So just draw a rough diagram maybe to help you figure out where the gap is. And once you know what the gap between the lowest and the highest, you should be able to figure out what is that highest and also what is that missing lower quartile. So that's how you can do a box plot question. Next question says, the students in a school sit 2 tests. One is a French test and the other one is a German test. Everyone passed at least one of the tests. 78% passed the French, 84% passed the German. Show this information in a Venn diagram. So let's get a Venn diagram. We have German and French. And always remember to make the rectangle, that is your universal set of everything. Now, we know that everyone has passed at least one of the tests. So people who passed neither of them, that's 0. Now, the most important piece in a Venn diagram is the centerpiece. Do I know how many people passed both of them? No, I do not know. So that's going to be X. I do not know what that number is. But what do I know? I know the amount of people who passed the French test is 78%. So that means this whole circle here is meant to be 78%, which is 0.78. I've already got an X inside this, which means the remaining bit here would be 0.78, take away the X. Because the full thing is supposed to be 0.8, I already have an X inside. That means what's remaining would be 0.78, take away the X. I can use the same logic on the other side. For the German test, we know that the total is supposed to be 0.84, but I already have an X inside that little piece at the center. So what remains is 0.84, take away X. And because we're doing this in percentages, we know all the percentages would add up to 1, a whole, because we're doing in decimals. So I can say, if I add the first piece, second piece, the third, and the last one, I should be getting 1 or 100%. So I have 0.84 minus the X, then add the centerpiece, which is the X, and then add the last, that's 0.78, take away X, and then what's on the outside is a 0. If I add everything, I would get 1. Now, should you wish to, you could also do this in terms of percentage. So if you wanted to do this percentage, this would be 84% minus X, add the X, 78% minus X, add 0, altogether that will be 100%. So all I need is that piece of information. What is that X, the centerpiece? That is a crucial part. So negative X, positive X, that cancels off. Oh, that just doesn't make sense, does it? 78 add 84. Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. So 78 and 84, that would be 150, 150. So that would be 162. Take away the x is equal to 100. So let's swap these two guys. So that would mean you have 162 take away 100 is equal to x. That means x is equal to 62%. So we've got the centerpiece, which is 62%. That means I can put the centerpiece as 62%. So if that is 62, I know the full thing is supposed to be 84%. So 84 take away 62, that's going to be 22%. Because altogether, this right here should add up to 84. So what's on the center is 62, so the remaining bit should be 22. Maybe I should have used a milder color there. Yeah, okay. Right, and then the other bit is 78%. I already have 62 there, so what remains would be 78, so that's 16%. So the Venn diagram would look something like that with 0 on the outside. So always remember that most critical piece is the centerpiece. Once you know if you don't know the centerpiece, just put an X there, find an equation, solve that equation, find the center, and then you can then figure out the other pieces of the Venn diagram. Next question says, can I move this? Okay. The price of a caravan is reduced by 6%. So the first thing that you should know is everything has a 100% price. Because it has been reduced by 6%, now it is only 94%. Correct to one significant figure. Oh, okay. The caravan is sold for 7,000. Calculate the lowest possible original price before the reduction was applied. Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question, because obviously I have no idea. Okay, let's see. It looks a bit trickier. Now, it is reduced by 6%, correct to one significant figure. So what I am thinking is I need to bring the error intervals of the reduction first. So one significant figure, so the only significant figure I have is 6. So if I have to find the error interval for the reduction, let me call that as R, I would add 1 to this number, subtract 1 to this number. So that's 7% on the left and 5% on the right. Okay, now if I have to find what percent was reduced, I would exactly find the middle, because we're finding the error interval of the reduction percentage. So it's 5.5% on the left and 6.5% on the right. So it could have been 6.5%. I'm sorry, it could have been 5.5%, or it could have been anything that is a little shy of a 6.5%. So we know this is the error interval of the reduction that was applied, the reduction that happened. The caravan is sold for 7,000. Okay. Calculate the lowest possible original price before the reduction was applied. Oh, that makes me think a bit more. So we know 7,000 was applied. I mean, 7,000 was the value. So if I need the lowest possible original price, if I have okay, we know that 100% is the full value. If I had got only a 5.5% reduction, that would mean I bought this car for 94.5% of its value. Okay, so this is when if it was a 5.5% reduction. So if 94.5% is the £7,000 that you bought this car for, we want to find what is the original price. So for this, first let's find what is 1%, and then let's multiply that by 100 to get 100%. So what we're going to do is we're going to do division by 94.5, then we're going to excuse me, multiply by 100. So I'm going to do the same thing here, divide by 94.5, and then I'm going to multiply that number by 100. So if we do that, so let's do 7,000 divide, okay, so we have 7,000 divide 94.5, and if you multiply that with 100, what do we get? Format, change to decimal. We get £7,407.40. So, oops, that one. So if that was a 5% reduction, that means the original price of this car was 7,407.40p. But what if I got this car for a 6.5% reduction? So if it was a 6.5% reduction, I bought this car for at only 93.5% of its value, and that value is 7,000. So if that is true, then I could divide again by 93.5, find 1%, and then multiply that by 100. So let's try that. Yeah, so if it was the lowest possible value, I should have applied the highest possible. So instead of doing 94.5, we just have to do 93.5. And if we do that, oh, okay. So that's 7,486, which is, yeah, the lowest possible value is, oh, yeah. So the lowest possible. So if I had done that, the 100% value, or the original value, would have given me 7,486. So the lowest possible value of the car was 7,407. That was a really, really good question. For a moment, I had no idea what I was doing. So yeah, the first thing that you have to remember is the phrase correct to one significant figure. So that's when I realized, I had to take error intervals. Then the caravan is sold for 7,000. So it's the price after the reduction was applied. Now we need to figure out the lowest possible original price before the reduction. So yeah, it confused my brain. So I just did both. First I did 5%. So if it was 5%, I bought the car at a 94.5% value, which means I got 7,407 was the original price. Then I did, if it was a 6.5% reduction, that means the original price was 7,486. So the lowest possible value was 7,000. So that was a good question. So yeah, so keep practicing and I'll see you again in another video. Take care. Bye bye.